Here we go. This 1972 Jeep Commando has been brought back to life. We just got it running, but we got to do a few things to get it back on the road. Here we go. Well, I'm finally getting to the end of this project. I feel like, I'm not really sure, but it feels like I'm getting pretty close. I've always heard the last 10% of any project like this feels like it takes 90% of the work. And I definitely feel like that's the case right now. I mean, there's just so much. I look around and it's like, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this and all these really small, minor details to really finish this build out. And so with that, it's also like a little bit tricky to figure out what to film, what you guys might want to see, what you don't want to see. You know, there's just, again, so much to do. So, you know, let's see, I'll go through the list here. I've got to tidy up the inside. I know somebody left a comment, they want to see some details on how I'm going to do the center console and the dash. So I'll make sure to film some specific videos on that. I saw another comment recently about doing an alignment on the front of this. So before we take it out for the first test drive, I'll make sure to go through all the details of getting the front axle aligned and getting it buttoned up and ready to be on the road. I've also got to take care of brakes. So I've done some videos on running brake lines. You know, most of this is just like bleeding brakes. I have to wire some electric fans. So, I mean, there's a lot of these kind of minor details of what I really need to be working on to finish this thing out and really get it ready to go. I'll also be building a roll cage. I'll be doing some paint and body. Hopefully gonna do kind of like a patina distressed paint style on it. So it's not gonna be like a perfect job, but it's gonna look really good, I think, when it's all said and done. Having that old school patina style where it's gonna be nice, it's gonna look good, but it's not gonna be so nice that I'm not worried about getting it scratched. So really excited about all of that. That's most of the stuff. I've got some skid plates I'm gonna be installing underneath. I'm gonna do a hidden winch behind the grill up front. So again, a lot of really like small things. I mean, even I'm sitting here, there's just lots of really small details that I'm gonna have to get done. So I don't know what you guys want to see me do, what you want actual more how-to-ish details on this build for the remainder of it, or you know, if you guys would just like to see me talking through some different processes, talking about different things, answering questions on some of these videos versus some of, you know, this longer drawn out format. You guys just let me know what you think, what you want. I really want to make sure that these videos for the remainder of the Crusty build work out and that it's something you guys really are wanting to watch and see. So without further ado, this video, we're gonna go ahead and get the rear axle installed, get the pinion angle right, get everything done in the back of this Jeep, get the brakes done, so that then we can move on to the front, get that alignment done, get everything ready up there, and hopefully take this thing on its first test drive. So here we go. Let's get this rear axle pulled out from under this Jeep. I gotta watch the pros do this stuff. So what are we doing right now, Camden?
Yeah, so right now we're taking off these U-bolts on the suspension here. We're gonna take out the whole rear axle and tilt some things up and put it all back and do some work.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly. Well, nailed it. You got that part done. So now we got to pull the other side, get this axle out from under the Jeep. So as Camden mentioned earlier, we're rotating the pinion on this rear axle. I'm going to be running a double cardigan, I don't know, the one with the two U-joints at the transfer case and one at the axle, rear drive shaft on this Commando. That's because I did a slip yoke eliminator on the 231, and so with that, we got to rotate this. We did some measurements, and we're going to rotate it roughly about 6 degrees. All right, what we need to do is this leaf spring mount here actually needs to get rotated. Like I said, we need to rotate it 6 degrees. So I'll take my angle finder, put it on here. That's going to give us about an 18 degrees. So then we're going to rotate it this way. So I think that'll make it 12 degrees. And then that'll rotate the pinion up 6 degrees, which will point it directly at the output for the transfer case and put us exactly where we need to go. Then we'll get this bolted back in and get the shocks installed. So without further ado, let's get this thing adjusted. So rear axle, it's in place. We're good to go. The big piece that I was waiting on before I finished welded everything in is the rear drive shaft. So for rear drive shafts, I ordered from Tatton's. He's on eBay. Great luck in the past with him for front and rear on this one. The yellow Jeepster runs them as well. My brother's Jeepster runs them as well. So great luck with them. They're really heavy duty. I'll leave a link down below, but here you go. Let's unbox this puppy. There it is, the whole box. Oh, hang on. I need to set this on a tripod. All right, so let's see what this rear drive shaft's gonna look like. Who doesn't love a good unboxing, huh? I think some people do, I don't really know. Here we go. So there we go. You can see, nice and heavy duty, extra long slip. That's what it says. Looks like it's pretty greased up already. Again, this is just that double CV or that CV double cardan, however you want to say it. With this, I'll be able to run a little bit steeper drive shaft angles as needed. Honestly, that was just the yoke that came with the slip yoke on the 231. So that's just the style that I'm going to run in the back, and it matches the front as well. So should be good to go. This will get bolted up. You can see there, if you're looking to get a hold of them, Tatton's 801-685-0056. So there you go. Just 1310s, as mentioned previously, all this stuff, I really want to try to do my best to keep it Jeep Cherokee-ish as possible. This rear drive shaft length actually worked out to be perfect for an LJ. I don't remember which one. So really you could kind of in a pinch probably get a rear drive shaft from an LJ and it would work. So that was another reason I think to kind of keep it this style so that everything kind of plays nicely together. But there you go. You got to see this thing unboxed. And let's go ahead and get it installed in the Jeep. Make sure the drive shaft, the U-joint angles are actually good, that I'm happy with them. Then I'm gonna pull that axle out one more time and get everything burned in for the final time, hopefully. All right, here we go. Alrighty then. So as you can see, it looks like that U-joint there is in a nice neutral position. I mean, pretty much in a straight line pointing directly at the transfer case. And so with these, you want both of these two U-joints here to really be taking up that slack and this pointing directly at it. Now, if you only had one U-joint here and one U-joint on this side, then you would want these angles here and here to actually be the same degree to really work appropriately. But I think this is looking pretty good. So that angle looks correct to me. As you can see, we've got the shocks nice and mocked up. Those angles are looking good, 90 degrees give or take. And I can always move the upper mount. Upper mount is needed to get some adjustments in travel and different things. But overall, I think underneath it's looking pretty good. Now let's go ahead and get the rear axle pulled out one more time, and then should be good to go. And this thing hopefully will never have to come out again. There you go, axle is out. You know, not too shabby. These little Harbor Freight furniture dollies sure do work nice when it's a one-man show. So we've got it yanked. We have confirmed that the spring perches here are the right degrees of what we need. Now it's time to go ahead and get this thing burned in completely and reinstalled. You guys can see everything's now in place. I got these perches welded up nice and neat. Got it all painted, you know, nice Rust-Oleum rattle can black. You can see the shock mounts are here. They don't hang down too severely low. And then just run up, attached to the frame up here. I think I'm gonna move this mounting point back a little bit and up a little bit. Right now I've got about 2.5 inches of up travel with that, and I'm probably gonna give me about 5 or 6 down. Can't remember what the total numbers are on this, but when we look at it, you can see the shackle's pretty far back, so, and it's a longer shackle, so it's gonna give me plenty of droop. And then the springs are really nice and flat already. They're XJ springs, and so I don't want them to go into negative arch too much, and so I think this 2 inches will be just about right as far as up travel. Give me a lot of extra down travel. I've got the parking brakes routed. I went ahead and reused the emergency brake mounting piece from the Cherokee and then routed that up under here with an aftermarket cable and pulled to a handle up top. I'll show you what that handle looks like here in a minute. If we come under here, so this is, there we go. This is the aftermarket cable that I installed. I actually installed it in the stock Cherokee sheathing and then routed it right up under here. And so that what that's going to do, that just goes right into the center console. This looks a little bit close, and so I'll actually be securing this up and out of the way here. So then it shouldn't rub on anything, should be nice and good to go. But overall, it works really nice here. Let's go up to the top. And so we can see here what this is. This is just an aftermarket handle. I'll leave a link to this if you guys want to use it. This is the start of my center console here. I know some people wanted to see it, so this is the start of it. I was going to reuse the stock Cherokee piece to go ahead and fit everything in, keep with the idea of keeping as much Cherokee pieces as I can. But once I got looking at spacing, fitment, that Cherokee e-brake handle is way too big. And so this one's a lot smaller. It's going to fit nicely. It works great. I've got it hooked up. Everything's working. So you can see here, let me show you. I mean, it pulls up and it's good. Just push the button and release. So overall, I mean, that fits really nicely. I actually have a working parking brake. That's really exciting. If you guys watched that video a while back with the yellow one, that's just not, I don't know, I wasn't having any luck on that one. So maybe it's not me, maybe it's just this. But here we go. So now we're gonna dive into a little bit of the bump stop piece. And so with that, how I'm gonna run those. So I've got my pad here, everything's outboarded. And since I'm spring over axle, typically you'd have this large, amount of tube here that would help not have to run as long of a bump stop, blah, 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 all that. It's not gonna work. So what I'm gonna do, and I did this on the yellow one, is this body mount here has a hole in it already. And then so what I'll do is I'm gonna run some angle from here to here, bolt it here, bolt it there, and then this will actually outboard the bump stop just enough that then that should hit this leaf spring plate. So that should do all of it, what I need it to. So this is what I ordered. So these are like 12 bucks on Amazon from like a Chevy pickup or something. But I'm hoping what I'll do is put this in some tube. Anyway, I'll just show you guys what it's gonna look like. But I'll leave a link to these bump stops, but you'll see, so that'll should hit right there. So coming right down from where that is, right down, and that's gonna land hopefully right in about the center of that pad and work really nicely to make sure that I don't destroy these shocks with such a little up travel. So that's the overview of what I'll be doing for the bump stops. Now let's go ahead and get stuff cut up, fit up, and then show you what this is gonna look like installed. I took some measurements about how tall it is from that bolt hole I was showing you to the bottom of the frame. And so what I'm gonna do here, I just measured out 5 inches, and then I'm gonna make a mark, and I'm gonna cut this out on the bandsaw. We'll go from there. But there you go, that's about it. I've also been trying to figure out, I don't know, I was talking to some people recently just about what to do with some of these videos and changing things up or whatever, answering some questions, building some things, just to try to make them a little more exciting, because honestly, I never really understand why a lot of you guys tune in just to watch me do some of this stuff. I don't feel like I'm particularly great at being entertaining, or I'm not like a wonderful how-toer either, so I don't really know if there's like things you guys are curious about or things that I could be talking about or answering. You guys let me know. Maybe live videos, I don't know, do people like that? If I was just to be out here working and putting it on live and answering questions as I'm working, would you guys actually care to tune in? I don't know, but here we go. So as you can see, got it measured 5 inches. That's what she said. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this ripped out on the bandsaw. So get this turned around. Look at that, some killer camera work, guys. If you guys don't know, I recently moved locations. So if you watched the video from, actually here, hold on one sec. But if you guys don't know, I just recently moved locations. We need a little more space, and so that has now quickly been filled up as well with all kinds of doodads and knickknacks around here. But before I moved, I got this little cart, call it like my tools cart, I guess. So just like an old school projector cart from a high school local, and but it's worked really nice. So I just went ahead and did the bandsaw. I actually just got a standing drill press. So this one's gonna be going away and I'll be putting a grinding wheel here, but then I have my belt sander. It also holds my chop saw down below and then like miscellaneous stuff. And you know, working in a small 2-car garage like this, it really gives me a lot more space to really maneuver, I guess, because you know, having this stuck in one place, I don't have a lot of room for workbenches and that kind of thing. And so really I'm trying to be creative with what I can do. And so this was the best solution I came up with in this little bit, you know, confined space. So anyway, I don't know, like I said, try to keep you guys engaged as I'm going through this, give you some things. But let's go ahead, get this cut out on the bandsaw. As they say, safety first. I got these real nice safety glasses. I had a bunch that my brother gave me. He's a safety guy actually, and they were okay, but for some reason, I always feel like when these nose pieces are really sharp, I don't like it. And so I found these, and these seem to work pretty good. They might look a little goofy, but they're actually really comfortable. So maybe I'll be wearing safety glasses more regularly and staying safe. So eyes, ears, hands, and toes. I think that's how the song goes. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing cut up. Just a bunch of scrap I had laying around. Now I've got the start to one bump stop pad. Now I need to go ahead and get this cut in half. Then I'll have the start to 2 bump stop pads. Just a good old cut, measure twice, cut once, but then it ends up being wrong and I'll have to cut it 4 more times and redo it, but you know, it's fine. So I'm hoping this will be what I need. Get this marked out, get it cut as well, and we'll just kind of keep going through. So the idea of this is basically there's going to be 1 bolt hole on each side of this. So out of that body mount I showed you and then into the frame, I'll do a couple of them so I can adjust it up and down as I need to. And then hopefully that'll work, because in a perfect world, I would probably go and actually flex this out and do all that and get the bump stops just perfect before I do all this. Well, I'm not that guy. I do not do it that way. I'm just gonna do what I hope works, get it out in the real world, flex it out, hope that I got it right, and if I need to make some adjustments, I will. But really, like I said, there's so many small things. I just really want to get stuff done as I can so that I can get this thing on the road and not have to mess with it anymore, because it's been a long time coming to get this thing out on the road. Summer's almost here. I'm like so excited, and tell my wife, I'm like, all right, we're gonna be taking it out. We're getting ice cream, snow cones. We're gonna enjoy this thing all summer. Hopefully this one actually has a back seat. The yellow one doesn't, you know, so I'm like thinking this will be perfect. Get the daughter out. This back seat has a little seat belt, like car seat tether, so I'm gonna be able to take her in the car seat. Hopefully have the roll cage built before summer so that way everybody's safe. I mean, I'm just itching. But then I'm like, oh, all these small things, I need to do them while I can. And so that's why this is getting done in the order that it is, instead of, you know, waiting until I could actually get it fine-tuned and all that. You know, I'll just create adjustability, and that will hopefully solve my problem. All right, let's get the second one cut out. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna get these polished up, get that squared away. I'm gonna cut out some tubes, some more plate, and then I'll jump over and show you guys what this is hopefully gonna look like when it's all pieced together. I don't think you guys really need to spend a whole lot more time watching me cut and grind and fabricate, just cut these pieces out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get all this done with some help of Video Magic. Hopefully it'll be back in a snap. Snap, we're back. I don't know if that's how those transitions work. Seemed a lot cooler in my head. Anyway, all right, here we go. I got everything done. So what do we need in order to build the ultimate bump stop? You need one of these. So when I drill holes, I save a whole lot. So anytime I drill steel holes, I save them, because then I can cap the end of that. So then we also need some round tube. This is scrap I had, angle iron scrap I had, and then plate, so that this will sit like that. So then when you put all this together along with the bump stop that I forgot to carry over here, you get this. So this should be roughly what the bump stop will look like. So as we can see, the angle iron welded up to some plate, round tube, and then the nut welded on the back side of that plate to cap off the tube, and then you get this. So there you go. that's my hopefully simple solution to get bump stops in the back of this Jeep. Hopefully it'll all work. I'm thinking I might end up gusseting this upper plate section here just to get that done. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think it might need it. It might not. I feel like it won't take a whole lot of effort to go ahead and just add it. You know, peace of mind, the extra support. Well, I won't have time to go ahead and actually get this thing completely installed. I want to make sure that I actually get a video out this week for you guys. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like mocked up, and then later on I'll get this done, get it all put back together. So here you go. Again, I'll have 2 holes drilled, a hole, man, how do I do this? I'll have a hole drilled on this side over here and that side there. Hang on one sec. There we go. Okay, I'm trying to see what I'm filming here. So you'll see there'll be a hole drilled on both of these that'll then come down, and you can see that should land right in the middle-ish. Maybe you can see it's a little dark. Sorry, it's late at night. I'm trying to knock this out when I can. You'll see. So then I'll have some space there. That's where the bump stop will then hit that spring pad, hopefully match the amount of travel that we have in that shock. So it'll sit somewhere probably closer to that right there. But I think that'll work. I don't know. You guys have any better ideas or reasons this might not work? Leave some comments below. Well, there you go, guys. I have got the pinion angle set, the rear drive shaft installed. I got the front drive shaft installed by notching out that cross member just a little bit. I have bump stops built. I need to go ahead and get these finished welded and bolted in so that they're ready to go. On the next video, I'm going to go ahead and finish out the front axle. So that means installing the brakes on it, bleeding the brakes, doing the alignment. I'll get all of that done. The shocks I ordered are on national back order until like the end of this month. So the next video will be focusing on everything else that I can get done right now. I'll also go ahead and wire up the electric fans. And then when my shocks get here, I should be ready to take this thing on the first test drive. All right, well, if there's anything else that you guys are hoping to see about this last 10% of the process to get this thing roadworthy, make sure to leave some comments so that I know which videos to really focus on. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.